It's your boy Football Talk. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. 26 tips and tricks you need to know for Madden 26, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, man, oh man, I absolutely enjoy watching these videos, and sometimes I give my little insight and maybe some tips and tricks for you guys as well. So hey, this is beneficial for everybody in this one. Man, oh man, super excited. Madden 26 officially dropped today. If you didn't get early access, now hey, it's out. So you know, if you want it, go ahead and get it, or it could be a birthday gift, who knows, you know. So yeah, we shall see what Eric Rayweather got for us. Shout out to Eric Rayweather once again for this video. I'm always reacting to his videos. So, you know, if you guys have not subscribed to him or subscribed to me, I have no idea what you're doing. You know, I really don't. It's at this point, it's on you, you know. But without further ado though, let's jump right into this. Let's get it, baby. Let's go.
These are the absolute best tips and tricks you need to know in Madden 26. Number 1, utilize drag routes. The drag route is the absolute best route in Madden because it's going to be very good against man
100%.
coverage, and it's going to get underneath zone coverage where you can catch and run for big yards like this. Now, to make this even better, you can have 2 drag routes on the same play like this coming from opposite sides of the field. This is known as a mesh concept, and it does a really good job at beating man and getting underneath zones. And the great thing about drags is you can hot route them on any play by pressing Y or triangle, selecting the receiver's icon, and then
with the drag routes thing, right? This is what I mean about patience. Because I feel like a lot of times people, they pick a drag route play, but don't even use the drag route. That is really your first option, and it's the quickest option. Because 9 times out of 10, you have a fast receiver on that side. Or a tight end, which with the tight end, you can throw it a lot quicker. Because now he's shielding his body and he's a bigger body. With the receiver, if he's coming over here, guess what? He gonna have breakaway speed right here. Especially Smith. Now, if you got Tyreek Hill, my God, that's a home run, to be honest with you. But if you got speed on your on either side, you're going to kill pretty much any defense. Especially if they're just a man defense and they want to pressure you. Oh my god, that's just easy right there. Cause guess what? The corner, they gotta get through all the muddiest. You know what I mean? So this right here might be one of the most underrated like plays to do. It's so easy, so simple, but yet people don't actually use it. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. It's always been crazy.
and going down on the right stick. So you have the ability to put these on literally any play that you want. And
look at that. And you got Saquon wide open as a running back.
If you tab over to the concept tab, go down to medium pass, and then tab over to the mesh option, you will see in your playbook you have multiple plays with double drags on them already because mesh is one of the most popular concepts in football. And with the way these beat man coverage, and considering the fact this year that the yellow zones drift a little bit further back than normal, these are going to be a staple you need on every play. Number 2, shading your defense. So we just talked about drag routes, but let's talk about a good way to stop them, and that is shading your defense. So I like to do this mainly out of a cover 3 or a cover 4 zone defense. Now you can see this is what a cover 3 looks like standard. And once again, I'm going to run one of these mesh concepts, and I'm going to show you how these drags get pretty open underneath. We can catch them and go for easy yards like I told you. Now the key to help stopping this and short passes that a lot of people like to throw in the flats underneath is shading your defense. So again, cover 3 or cover 4 is my preferred coverage to do this out of, and what you want to do is press Y or triangle and then down on the right stick. Now you can see we have hard flats on the field and these 2 yellow zones over the middle. They should play a little more aggressive, but we're going to help out and try to stay low with them as well. And if we do that, as you can see, it is not going to be easy to throw these routes. Look how the defense is there to limit it to no gain. Really quickly before we continue, I do want to let you know that I drop the best Madden tips all year long to help you win more games. So if you want to stay up to date and never miss out on the latest and best tips, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on. Number 3, the best RPOs. Now in a lot of playbooks, there's going to be 2 types of RPOs you want to use. Now we're going to
never figure out how to actually do a proper RPO
option,
for some
and then you can see your RPOs are going to be here. Now RPO reads are the first one we want to look at, specifically plays like the RPO read Y flat. Now, there are different variations of these RPO
turn this down just a little bit.
Flat plays that you can find in a lot of playbooks. This one in particular right here is in the Saints, Broncos, Chiefs, and Giants playbooks. But basically, any RPO read play that has a tight end running a flat with blockers, these are extremely hard to
Taysom Hill.
You can hand it off to the running back, but more times than not, you're going to simply throw this flat. And this is something that most people simply don't know how to stop. But don't worry, I'll tell you how in a minute. But more times than not, you're going to see this flat is going to be wide open for an easy pass that you could catch and run. And this is something that's good to go to in crucial short yardage situations. Or
I was just about to say that, like 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, you need it.
This flat is going to be open the majority of the time, and it's going to be a pain for your opponent. Now, the second type of RPOs that are really good are going to be called RPO alerts. And specifically, we want to look for RPO alert bubbles. So right here in the gun bunch tight end, this is one of the best RPOs in the game. Now, again, we can always just hand the ball off. We can let them run the ball, although I don't like to run the ball a ton when I'm using RPOs. If it's wide open and if it's there, I'll do it. But we really run these because of the passing element, and this is another one that is just super hard.
And you got 2 blockers
no matter
on 2
what the defense,
defenders.
you can typically throw these, you get good blocking, and you get out for huge yards. And I would say that 90% of the people you play will not know how to stop this. And this particular RPO could be found in the Bills, Cardinals, Falcons, Jets, Packers, Raiders, and Vikings playbook. And some of my favorites of that bunch are the Packers, Falcons, Vikings, and Jets. Number 4, how to stop RPOs.
Ooh,
so we talked about previously
I'm loving
how this
RPO right here
is really good. Now, what you really want to have is a slot cornerback on a flat route. So, for example, I'll come out in a cover 3 here, and I'll use my shade down technique that we talked about in tip 2. And then what you want to make sure is the guy that's in this flat, you want him to be lined up kind of in the middle of these 2 receiving options. You want to split the difference there. And what you'll notice is if I try to throw this now, look how he is there to completely limit his yards. Now, to stop this particular RPO, you want to make sure that there is a player over this guy in the slot right here, and then you want to take your other defender and you want him standing over the guy that's going on the bubble screen, and you want to put this guy into a hard flat. So it'll look like this. I mean, you know, you could have this guy on whatever you want. You could have this guy in a hook curl, but I just noticed that you need to kind of have somebody over that number 83 receiver. Otherwise, sometimes he will jump down and block this guy here that we have over.
That makes sense, though.
Wilson. So if you have it looking something like this, and they try to throw this, notice how he's going to be right here. Oh my
goodness, look at that. Lockdown. Yeah, that's me.
Most of the time he actually does intercept it, so I want to show you what that looks like.
I was about to say, that's a pick.
Right here, he's going to grab it, and when you intercept this, you're a lot of times going to go back all the way for 6. Hey, really quickly, I did want to mention that I do also have a membership where I post all of my ebooks and my highest level offensive and defensive strategies to help you win all of your Madden games. We've got hundreds of members right now who say they're winning a lot more games just by being signed up. And for a limited time, you could get 50% off a monthly or full year membership with code 50OFF. Link is in the pinned comment below. Number 5, the best trick play. The best trick play in Madden 26 can be found.
I finally had got into trick plays like towards the end of 20.
Motion double pass. You can find this in the Buccaneers and the Panthers playbook. Now, against zone defense, this can be an easy one-play touchdown just like this.
The Patriot
play. Napping once or twice a game with it. As long as they're not playing man defense and you want to try to sneak in a quick one on them, run this play and the RB receiver will be a wide-open touchdown. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, you're showing people this. Now everybody's going to abuse it. Well, this isn't that hard to stop. This is really just meant to try to sneak in and get a quick one on them. So if your opponent's going to this over and over or they're trying to abuse,
if you're an online player and you're not particularly good at defense, you better hope they don't pull this out. Because I can already see it right now. A smashed TV, something get thrown at the wall, something getting destroyed. If you are bad at defense and you play online, I hope this don't happen to you, but more than likely, you're going to get at least 1 or 2 people that are going to spam these. I see it all the time. Sorry. I see it a lot. with like bad people. I mean, with people that are not really good on defense. They always get the ones that want to do the cheese plays, which is, I feel bad for them, but it is what it is. I guess that's how they say it.
that you can either run a man defense or simply just pass commit your
try
zone
not
defense
pause
by
a lot
pressing
'cause it's
RB or
already a long
R1
one.
and up on the right stick. So you can see we are in a zone defense, and watch what happens now if we try to throw this now that we've pass committed out of our zone defense. Notice how the defender is back there with RB, and now we can click on and try to go for an interception. Number 6, the best way to play defense. Now, in my opinion, right now this year, the best coverages to use are a cover 2, a cover 4, and cover 2 man. So the first coverage we're going to talk about really quickly is the cover 4. Now, it could be any type of cover 4, it doesn't matter because we are going to shade our defense here. But first, we want to press our right stick in to pull up our coaching adjustments, and we want to go down to our safety depth, and we want to put them on close. Then once we're on the field, we want to shade our defense down by pressing Y or triangle and then down on the right stick. The reason this is such a good defense is because we have 4 deep zones, so it's going to be hard to get any deep passes. We've got good sideline protection. We've shaded down to help with things like drags and flat routes, but our safeties, because we line them in close, they're going to also do a really good job at defending seam routes, which a lot of people like to throw, but they're also in run fits because in a cover 4, the safeties are in run fits by default, meaning they're going to read to see if it's a run or pass first. So because they're lined up close and in that cover 4, they're going to defend the run really good as well. So this is a really good all-around defense. And then our job is to just maneuver over the middle of the field. And as you could see, really the only thing here we could have maybe thrown was that curl route. And if we're worried about that after we shade down, we can simply just go and then drop this guy back into a curl flat on that side of the field, for example, if we were worried about that type of a route. And then now, as you can see, he'll be there to defend it. But a lot of people don't really throw curl routes. Usually they would have this guy on some kind of a post or something like that. Most people aren't throwing curl routes. They want to throw
you
flats
would get them
and
like
unders.
for the
And with this defense, we are all over all of that. And again, if they want to run the ball, we're going to be in here to absolutely destroy the run. Now, the next coverage, like I said, is a Tampa 2. This is one of the best coverages in the game this year because
just like in college, Tampa 2
job at defending the sideline. The mid-read zones are actually pretty good this year. And this is kind of
I believe he talked about that this is like his base defense. This is what I go to when
I'm trying to defend just a little bit deeper. I'm okay if they want to dink and dunk and check down on me with this because if they start doing that a lot, I'll go to my cover 4 and shade down. What I'm trying to do with this with my user is defend the quick stuff like a drag and then drop back over the middle for some of the deeper stuff and let my pass rush do the work. And then with cover 2 man, simply all I do is press the defense by pressing Y or triangle and then down on the left stick. I think man defense is pretty solid this year, but you definitely want to have those deep zones to help out. The running back is your responsibility, or you could jump over something else over the middle. But with the pass rush being so good this year, I feel like you can really get away with running man defense.
Damn, the pass rush is really good.
Okay. I like to go cover 4 and cover 2 more than man, but I will use it from time to time.
Because I'm always on the line.
And for some reason you're still struggling to get stops, try mixing in a cover 3 cloud because a lot of people do struggle with this coverage, and you can find this in most nickel and dime formations. Number 7, utilize stunts. This is one of the best additions ever added to a Madden game, and all the stuff I just previously talked about on defense, this takes it up to the next level. Now, in my opinion, the best formations to use stunts out of are going to be any type of double mug out of nickel, whether it's regular double mug, 3-3 double mug, 2-4 double mug. Doesn't matter. Every playbook should have these. You want to either use that formation, you want to use the single mug is another good one, or the dime rush. So let's go to the dime rush here. Let's find a cover 4. So we're going to look at cover 4 quarters. What I want to do is I want to hold down the Y or triangle button. That's going to pull up my stunt list. And I want to go up on the D-pad one time. It's going to bring us to the back here. And we want to highlight the Texas 4-man. Once that's highlighted, we can let go of the button. And now on the field, you'll see we have the stunt. And all you want to do from this point is still shade your defense down like we talked about in the cover 4. And then you want to spread your D-line, which is left on the D-pad, up on the left stick. That's going to help this come in a lot cleaner, and it's not going to come in every play, but I would say at least half the time, if not more. They're going to loop in really nicely, and they're going to cause a lot of pressure. Even if they don't
look at that pocket.
It's just like they did there. If you run those coverages I showed you and mix these stunts in, you're going to get crazy pressure and be locked down on defense. Now let's look at the nickel double mug.
Yeah, and the back end is...
Now for this, we're going to look at the Tampa 2 defense again. Hold down the button, go down to the Texas 4-man, and then we're going to spread the D-line, and we're going to use her back on one of these linebackers. It's good to pull them out of the gap for just making it cleaner. And this is going to be another good way to run stunts to get quick pressure to the inside. The best way to play defense this year is to simply run these stunts with the base coverages that I told you about.
Okay, so
Number
run
8, the
start.
best blitz. Now, of course, we just
Ooh.
talked about how to lock
I
up
don't
and
do
stand in
blitz
coverage and
often,
using stunts,
but I
everybody
do
wants to
on
throw a
third
blitz
down
out there
though.
every once in a while. And the
Every once in
easiest
a
one in
while,
the game has
third
been the
down.
same one that it's always been. It's out of the double mug
I'm coming
formation
for
and
you.
nickel, which is in every playbook, and it's simply called mid blitz 0. Now, if you're playing an opponent that does not like to block extra players, they want to send them out on every play, you literally don't have to worry about doing anything. Just simply take the safety that's on the running back, and that is your responsibility. Take him, and you're going to get instant pressure off the edge. Now, this works because we're bringing 6 guys and they're only blocking 5. That means somebody's unaccounted for, and it's the quickest pressure at the QB. Now, a smart player will start blocking his running back, so if you still want to try to generate good pressure while having the running back blocked, what you want to do is pinch the D line, which is left on the D-pad, down on the left stick, and then you want to crash them down, which is left on the D-pad, down on the right stick. And then you want to user the guy that's on the running back, and you want to kind of hover over this middle, but don't worry, I'm going to show you how you can stop this in the next tip. But this right here is going to still cause you to sometimes get a guy in free or get quick block sheds, because your user defender being in this gap, it forces the O-line to have to respect you. You're showing a blitzing stance. They have to acknowledge that you could be blitzing as well. So when you do this, as you could see, you're still going to get quick pressure because someone's going to usually get block shedded quickly. Now let's talk about how to stop this. So of course we said you could block your running back, which is Y or triangle, select his icon, and then press the right trigger or R2 button. That's the first thing. That's going to block this pretty much every time, as long as they're not hovering in this gap, right? If they're doing that, and then I can just set my defense up to have some man beaters, like a speed out right there, maybe putting the B receiver on a zig, right? I'm blocking the blitz, and then I'm just throwing a quick pass and picking up yards. But what if they pinch and crash and they bring their user into this gap just like I showed you? Well, something that is really crucial is, of course, blocking your running back once again, but there is a new mechanic in the game this year that's called untarget defender. So to do this, we press LB or L1, then we press the Y or triangle button, and you'll see you have this little icon right here. You can move it around with the left stick. You want to put that on.
I remember they was showing this as like the new feature.
What that is now told the offensive line to do is to ignore him. So this should just give us a little bit better protection here.
Nah,
there still could be quick block sheds that happen, but this will give you the best chance to block this blitz consistently.
Because a lot of people be bluffing when they do that.
Coaching adjustments. Let me tell you about the most important coaching adjustments you have to set every game, and these are really just for defense. At the play call screen before the game, you want to click the right stick in to bring up your coaching adjustments. You want to always leave your auto flip defensive play call on. This is going to have your defense matching the strength of the offense. Leave your cornerback matchups on balance, because sometimes if you switch these, it can bug out your defense at times, and you don't want that. Leave your defensive motion response to default, but these next 4 are the most important. Your option read key, you want this on conservative. That way you'll never get beat by read option quarterbacks. You want your option pitch key on aggressive, so if someone runs a speed option and they try to pitch it to the running back, you'll be equipped to defend that. And then your RPO read and RPO pass keys, you also want these on conservative, because this will help you defend some of those RPO flats and bubble screens that we talked about earlier, but you still do want to make sure you have hard flats there, like I showed you, to give yourself an extra advantage. But this will also help you with RPO runs and some of those quick passes on RPO plays. These are the main ones you need to have set for every single game. Number 11, subs on the fly. This is a new feature this year. Cool. When you're on the field, you can press up on the D-pad.
I already know. I'm probably not going to remember this, but
tell you if any of your players are building up wear and tear.
I'm so glad they got this in.
Make them decrease in ratings a bit, so you kind of want to make sure to keep players fresh. Now, what's cool about this is you could do this on the field, because sometimes at the play call screen when you're trying to sub players out, that takes a lot of time, and then you're up against the play clock and things like that. So what you want to do is, call your play. It was very tedious when you break the huddle. If you're wanting to sub somebody out to keep them fresh, usually your halfbacks, you could press up on the D-pad.
This is really good for running back, especially star running backs,
for a few plays. Maybe Romeo Doubs is building up a lot of wear and tear because you've gone to him a lot, so maybe you want to take him out as your wide receiver 1, and then put somebody else like Wicks in for a little bit to play the 1 role while still having your other wide receivers in the game. And you could do this, and then when you break the huddle on the next
this
play,
is good for running backs and tight ends.
Plays for you. And then when you want to switch them back, you pull it up and you simply just change it back to the original players. Number 12, how to lock your user. Now, what does this mean? Well, on a play, I can user, whoever I want, right? So when the ball is snapped, let's say this B receiver's on a streak, and I know I want to run and kind of defend that, right? Well, the ball is snapped, then I got to start running, and I can get there, but there's a slight delay of me getting there because I have to wait until the ball is snapped. Well, funny enough, we can use that substitution menu to help with this. We press up on the D-pad to bring up our sub menu, and then while this is up, while we're on this player, we can hold the left analog stick in whatever direction we want. We can also hold down the turbo boost or the acceleration boost, which is the right trigger or R2 button, and that player will not move because this screen is up. So now, when the ball is snapped, I'm getting an instant rush out here to where I want to go to defend that player. So
nah, that is great.
To where you want to go.
I did not know you could do that. Nah, that's crazy. So you can lock your player, the defender, and already have that head start. Nah. What? Hey, if you're not good at defense, right here, write these down right here. Write these down right here. Go back to this video. Write it down right now. Okay? I'm writing it down in my head.
You can already be going the millisecond the ball is snapped. Number 13, motion wheel routes. Motion wheel routes are one of the best routes in the game to take advantage of popular coverages. Now, there's a couple different ways we could use this. So for one, I'm in this bunch X nasty formation, and we can see with this play motion cross post, we have a motion wheel route to the outside. Now with these motion wheel routes, you want them running to the wide side of the field. So notice we're on the right hash, so we want this wheel running to the left side like we have it. If we were on the opposite hash mark, we would flip the play. And what you want to do is you want to find formations where the outside receiver on that opposite side of the field, the X receiver here in this case, he's lined up in tight. He's not lined up by the sideline. So what we could do is we could put him on a streak. And then with this motion wheel, what happens is this does a really good job at beating cover 2 defenses, which is one of the more popular defenses you'll see. And what you're going to see here is this motion wheel is going to do a great job at getting behind the corner, but in front of the safety. And then you just pass lead this to the outside. And this is a one-play touchdown against cover 2.
Damn.
And this can also do a really good job against one-on-one man. So if people are running man blitzes or cover 1, what happens is this receiver a lot of times will get behind that defender for a huge play.
That's a
Another
dot.
good example of how you could use this is in the formation Y off trio close. Now I'm in the Jags playbook right here. They have both of these out of the bunch and the trio close, but these are in a lot of different playbooks in the game. And what you can see here again is the lone receiver side of the field, the X receiver, he's lined up in tight once again, which is what we want. So we just simply put him on a streak, and then against cover 2s, and then a lot of time against one-on-one man. Once again, this is going to be a really, really good route that we can use for some huge gains, and it really forces people to play different styles of defense. And if they start switching their defense up to kind of account for this, well, that's why you have the underneath routes like drags and things like that.
I was about to say, you got the little drag route to the tight end.
Number 14, how to stop inside zone. Inside zone is the most popular shotgun run, and you will face some people that just simply want to just do this all day. They just want to hand it off to the running back in shotgun.
I ain't gonna lie, I used to be one of those guys that used to abuse this. I ain't gonna lie to you. Especially franchise mode.
Easy to stop. All you need to do is have some type of a 4 rushing down line set like this. Now, our outside guys here are standing up, but it's close enough. As long as you've got 4 guys pretty much across the line that are rushing, what you want to do is crash your D line out, which is left on the D-pad up on the right stick. And then what you want to do is use a linebacker on the same side as the running back, and what's going to happen is there's going to always be a lane for you to shoot in just like this and hit the running back in the backfield. Number 15, how to stop the QB sneak. What you want to do is you want to go into the goal line formation, and you want to go to the goal line 5-3, and you want to select the play goal line man. Now the QB sneak for a lot of people can be hard to stop because they just simply don't know how. And if your opponent only needs inches or yard, a lot of times they're going to get it just easily like this, and you're like, what do I do to stop this? So you pick the play that we talked about, and then simply all you want to do is pinch the D line, which is left on the D-pad, down on the left stick, and then crash down, left on the D-pad, down on the right stick. Now as a bonus, you want to slide this guy out here if you have time, just in case they try to catch you off guard with like a toss, but more times than not, they're just going to try to spam the QB sneak. And then what you do after pinching and crashing your line is you just want to stand here with your user,
the CPU, my goodness, they be
and what you'll notice is they're going to hit the QB, and he's almost never going to be able to fall forward.
Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, in real life, Josh Allen might probably
here, and you'll notice that almost every time the QB is getting hit and he cannot go forward for positive yards. Number 16, the Superman jump. So how do you score when you're this close to the end zone then? Well, a good thing you can do is the Superman jump.
Oh, I remember this. Wasn't it like square or something like that?
Hold the X or square while holding up on the left stick, and he's going to jump up in the air like this. And you don't have to risk fumbling as much with this because simply all you have to do is break the plane, and then the play is over.
I remember in the older Maddens,
the X or square,
you
and then
used to fumble like this, by the way.
And you could see this is going to be an easy.
Or how many of us have got an interception as they press that towards the end zone?
Fades. Let's talk talk about one of the best new hot routes in Madden 26. So right here I have a flood concept set up out of a bunch formation, one that's been great for years, a streak, a corner, and a flat. In fact, let me take this X receiver and kind of just get him out the way so you can just focus on what's on the right side. This is a pretty good zone beating concept usually, but nowadays if you try to run this to the wide side of the field like we are right here against a cover 3, I want you to notice how this corner is just not going to get open because that route over there is going to get locked up by the cornerback. Now, the reason this doesn't work as well nowadays is because the coverage is smarter. So on the wide side of the field, the safety in the deep zone is always going to take that streak.
I used to love this play right here.
Cornerback available to defend the corner route, or at
especially
least
try to get to my tight.
We caught it right there, but that's obviously not a good throw. So instead of doing this combination, we can utilize the new
that is fire
move
though.
Instead of using a streak, we can put that guy on a slot fade by selecting the left trigger or L2 button in our hot routes, and now it's going to look like this. Now what this is going to do is it's going to take the attention of that cornerback, which is going to now open up our corner route like this for huge gains. And now if we look at a Tampa 2 coverage, we can do the same thing. We want to make sure our tight end's on a flat, so just pick a play that has your tight end on a flat. You can put your middle receiver on a corner and your outside on that slot fade, and what you'll notice is, again, the corner is going to get open for a nice game.
And now that corner has to pick either the guy that's going down or the guy that's
route combo that's going to beat most coverages in the game that you should be incorporating into your offense. So we're just in a random bunch play right here. What we're going to do is put our tight end on a drag. We'll put our outside receiver on a return route. You can do all this in your hot routes. We want to get the A receiver out of the way. We could put him on like a post or a crossing route, some type of a concept like this, where you have a deep streak pulling back the coverage. You have a middle receiver running some type of a crossing route. But the main concept here is having an inside receiver on a drag and then a receiver behind him on a return. And what you'll notice is you've got a quick hitter to the drag. We've talked about how good these are. Drags beat man coverage and zone, but let's say somebody was using that. Well, look at the spacing here with this return route on the back end. It creates a nice window. What I want you to notice here on the replay is just look at the spacing. Look how we have a drag wide open. Again, that's going to be a good man.
Look at this open field right here. This is
our opponent is using that and we can't throw it. Look at the time where this return on the back end, number 16. Notice when he's starting to break. Look at the distance between him
and the drag. I ain't gonna lie to you, that's
this
another thing that Madden got right this year. The breaking
makes it hard for a user defender
the cuts
to stop
and breaks.
They're both going to be good at getting underneath zones, and they're both going to be very good at beating man. Now here you could see in this play levels, this is a stock play that has this concept built in. You could see the Y receiver is on a drag and then the A is on a return, and it's the same concept. You'll actually find that there are a lot of plays in different playbooks that already have this built in. So here, for example, in this spread set, I can do it right here. I'm going to put A on a drag and I'm going to put RB on a return. You could do this with literally any formation. And I want you to get used to doing this because this is a real football concept. It's a trail concept and it's going to beat a lot of coverages and it's hard to defend. Number 19, quick sliding. A new feature they put into the game this year is the ability to quick slide your offensive line with the right stick. So right here, for example, I'm going to run this blitz off the left edge, and let's just say I know my opponent's running this because he's done it before, or maybe he's just loading up one side, or there's a
or they're just spamming the same defense
that I want to stop. Well, instead of pulling up my pass protection menu with the LB button, I don't have to do that anymore if I just want to slide one way. Now you could see my offensive line here is dropping straight back, but if I want to full slide them to the left, I can flick the right stick to the left twice. 1, 2, and notice how now they're in a full slide to the left. If I want to only half slide them to one side instead of flicking the right stick twice in that direction, I would just do this by default. Like now it's in a half slide. Now do keep in mind when you're
I think that was in
you do want to have your running back blocking because when you're sliding one way, that's usually going to free up the defensive end on the other side to come in free. So you need your running back protecting your backside on that play. And now notice how they'll slide out here. They'll help pick up this blitz and it'll buy time for me to get a pass off. Number 20, gadget players. If you go to your depth chart, there's a new gadget position
like
where
my
you
boy
can put
Taysom
any player
Hill.
In spot. You could put a fast receiver, a super fast running back, a cornerback, a tight end, whoever. Now here with the Commanders, Deebo Samuel is here by default because he's a gadget player. But if I just had like a 97 speed guy, for example, I might want to just put him in the slot.
Deebo is 67.
But what's cool about this is that a lot of formations now have a gadget package. So right here you could see there's a gadget halfback package in this wing slot offset. And what that's going to
not know that
do
one.
is put
Okay.
Deebo Samuel in the backfield. So if you're someone that likes to throw to your running backs a lot,
They
which
did
I
this a
do,
lot in
this can
San
be really
Francisco.
useful because you can put this guy on a corner route out of the backfield. You can put him on a
Especially
Texas
like in the
route. You can put him
playoffs
on
and
all
stuff.
these different
When they
types
made it
of
to the
routes.
Super
And if
Bowl
you have
that
a
year,
real receiver back here
couple
and a
years ago.
fast guy, he's going to run those routes better. Or like I said, if it's just a super fast guy and you want to use him for options or run plays, you can get yourself a huge advantage by putting a super athlete in your backfield with the gadget position. Number 21, halfback hot routes. Now, this is something really cool that a lot of people don't know about. So if I take my running back here and I put him on a Texas route, for example, and then I motion him out to receiver, he's going to stay on that Texas route. And this is a great man-beating route. So I can get halfback routes actually at receiver by doing this. And you notice, look how he just absolutely cooks his defender that's man-to-man on him. Or maybe I put him on a corner route out of the backfield. Now, the halfback corner route's a little bit different than a regular one. And now, again, when I motion him out, he's going to stay on that corner. But this also works in reverse. So now that I have my halfback out, if I wanted to re-hot route him to a corner, let's say, it's going to now give him the wide receiver corner, which it should because he's lined up at receiver. But if I motion him back into the backfield, he's still going to have this corner route. And then, of course, you could even route stem this all the way down, for example, and have like a slant out of the backfield. Now, another one that's cool is when you're lined up in the slot here as a halfback, you can put him on a speed out. These are really, really good for beating man. But now if I motion him back into the backfield, he's going to keep that speed out. And this is one of the best routes in the game. Well, now you can create that by simply motioning him out. And now when I snap the ball, you're going to see he's got that speed out and he's going to cook man-to-man defense. So definitely play around with different things you could do with your halfback on hot routes in practice mode.
I love seeing this because your running back is one of the most dangerous people on the field.
Now, specifically out of shotgun, duo runs have been really good for the last 2 years, and pretty much every playbook has them in some formation or another. So right here, I'm going to choose the Z close duo out of the wing slot offset. And again, you can find these in pretty much any playbook. Check your formations. You definitely have some shotgun formations with this duo type of run. And it's just better than an inside zone because you can really break it one way or the other a lot quicker. The blocking is also different on this than in an inside zone, so it's a lot harder to shoot the gap like I showed you earlier versus typical inside zones. And this is something you definitely want to keep in your arsenal to pick up easy yards out of shotgun. Number 23, speed outs. This is a really good route that you can use this year, but they changed it up. You have to be a slot receiver to get this now. So right here, for example, our X receiver, Trey Harris, we're going to put him on a speed out by pressing Y or triangle, selecting his icon, and then going left on the left stick for a speed out. Now, if we wanted to put another guy in this, like the B receiver, we could do the same thing, except we'd have to go right on the left stick because he's on the right side of the field. So you could see he's on a speed out now as well. Before, last year, you could get these when you were lined up outside, but they've changed it to where you have to be in the slot now. But that's okay because this is going to be a really good route for beating man coverage. And as you're going to see, it is going to absolutely cook every single time. And especially if you're playing against people that like to do a lot of man blitzes. Typically, if people are smart, they're not going to press against a man blitz because you could easily get beat for a one-play touchdown over the top. So having a speed out on a play can really be advantageous for absolutely cooking people that like to play one-on-one man. Number 24, stemmed corner routes. So while we're talking about these types of routes, let's talk about a corner. So we'll stay in the same play we were just in, and you see this corner route here to Trey Harris. We're going to actually stem him down all the way to where it looks like a slant out. Now, we do want this kind of going to the wide side of the field, so we're going to actually move the ball onto this other hash here because we want more room to work with. So if we stem down a corner route, what this is going to do a lot of times is it's going to cook man defense kind of the same way the speed out did, but sometimes you can get even more yards with this. As long as they're not pressing you, you should get some pretty good yardage with this against man coverage, and it's super quick and you don't have to wait a long time to throw it. Now, here's another way you can utilize stem down corner routes versus like cover 3s and cover 4s. We want to go to the wide side of the field, but we want to have a bunch set up. So remember earlier when we showed how you can get the deeper corner routes open? Well, you can do the same thing with a stem down corner, but this is typically the route combo you want to go with. You want your tight end on a streak, you want the slot guy on that slot fade hot route, and then you want your outside guy in the bunch to be on a corner, and you want to stem him down all the way. And what you're going to notice is that stem down corner is going to find a nice opening just like this against a cover 3 for big yards. And this same setup will work against cover 2 style defenses as well. You'll see he's going to get behind that corner for a huge gain. So I just showed you a couple of ways you can utilize those stem down corners. Number 25, flipping your play. This is something a lot of pro players do because it really does make it harder to defend. So for example, if I break the huddle, what I want to do is as soon as I get to the line, I'm going to immediately flip my play by pressing
I
X
do
or
this
square
too.
and then the right trigger or R2 button. I'm going to
Yeah,
flip
I
it really
flip
quick
my
because
play
what this
too,
does
especially
sometimes is it
if
just
I see like a
confuses your
blitz
opponent. Sometimes it can mess with their
from the
alignment a little bit,
CPU
and it
that
makes
I
them
know I
panic
can
and try to
abuse.
make
I definitely do
adjustments.
this.
So if I wanted to run this formation on the opposite side of the field, well, what I'm going to do is at the play call screen, I'm going to actually
Especially
come out
for
with it
like
on
runs
the
and
wrong
stuff.
side of the field, and then I'm going to quickly flip it after breaking the huddle. And this is really good to do with quick snap plays where you're not making a lot of adjustments or maybe just one adjustment, because then this is just really going to confuse your opponent, and I promise you this makes it 10 times harder for your opponent to play defense. Number 26, how to stop mobile QBs. Now, mobile QBs can be a little harder to stop this year because they sped the game up, so guys like Lamar Jackson can get out of that pocket even quicker. So one thing you always want to try is first QB containing, which you can do by pressing the RB or R1 button and then pressing LB or L1, and that's going to contain your edge rushers. Now, sometimes contains will kind of dumb out, but that's the first thing you want to try. And a lot of times here, if you try to scramble out, notice how the contain will be there to set the edge and you'll lose yards. Now, you can also do
want to spy as well.
Put a fast linebacker into a spy, or you could put one of your defensive linemen who's got a little speed. In this case right here, I'd probably put a lineman because I don't want to have less actual coverage on the field. If I'm just worried about scrambling, I'll go here on Trey Hendrickson, for example. I'll press A or X depending on my system, and then go left on the right stick for a QB spy. And what he's going to do is he's going to follow Lamar wherever he goes. So if I roll out here, notice he's following me, and he is there to clamp down, and he actually fumbled the ball, and now we're taking it back for 6 points.
Take to the
now that you know about all of these tips, you're halfway there, but you still need to learn.
That was absolutely awesome. It was a lot. I know this is a pretty long one, so hopefully you guys were able to stay with your boy, or if you just wanted to watch, you know, something little, like, you know, just go through it, skim through it a little bit, you know, hey, we got that too. But yeah, shout out to Eric Rayweather for this, especially showing how to stop certain things. I think that's another big thing that others don't really show. They might show, oh, this is the meta for offense, or this is the meta for defense, but how do you stop some of these metas, or some of these, you know, like, how do you stop it? And that's why I always appreciate Eric Rayweather's breakdown and, you know, his tips and tricks and stuff. So yeah, shout out to him once again. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys did learn something in this one like I did. See you guys in the next one.